So what's it mean to divide by a fraction? Well, what's it mean to divide by anything? If I have 12 divided by 4, I need to figure out how many times 4 fits inside 12. And we can see that answer is 3. 12 divided by 4 is 3 because 4 fits inside 12 3 times. So division is really just seeing how many times one number fits inside the other. And we could also use the opposite multiplication fact to check our work. 4 times 3 does in fact equal 12. Well, let's draw a picture to help us with this one. 6 divided by 1/5. Maybe we've got 6 pizzas, and we're going to divide these into 1/5 slices, and we're going to see how many slices we have. So if we start with our first pizza, if we cut it into fifths, we're going to have 5/5, because 5/5 make one whole. And the same is going to be true for each of our pizzas. Each pizza will give us 5/5. So 6 divided by 1/5 means 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 slices altogether. That's how we get our answer. So 1/5 appears within 6 30 times. And we could also do our opposite multiplication again. 1/5 times 30 does give us 6 whole pieces. Let's look at 4 divided by 1/2. Let's say you got 4 hours set aside to watch your favorite show. Each episode's about a half hour. So how many episodes are you going to watch? Well, if we cut our 4 hours into halves, we see that we can watch 2 episodes in our first hour. And that makes sense because 2 halves make one whole. And we're going to keep that going. So episodes 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 4 divided by 1/2 is asking us how many times does 1/2 appear within 4? And we can see that is indeed 8. And let's check it with our opposite multiplication fact. 1/2 times 8, well, what's 1/2 of 8? That is 4. So if I have 8 halves, that's the same as 4 hours. So when we did 6 divided by 1/5, we were seeing how many times 1/5 fits inside 6. Well, if each pizza has 5 slices, we can count by 5 to get to 30. So another way to think about this is just 6 times 5 equals 30, because there are 5/5 in each whole. And for 4 divided by 1/2, well, there's 2 halves in every whole. So really, 2, 4, 6, 8, it's kind of like we did 4 times 2 to get 8, because there's 2 halves in each whole. And this is why keep, change, flip works. We're going to keep our first fraction, because really we can also apply this to all fractions. Keep that 6, we can think of it as 6 over 1. We're going to change to multiplication, and then we're going to flip our second fraction, also known as multiplying by the reciprocal. So instead of 1 over 5, we're going to think about this 5 over 1. And then remember, when you multiply fractions, we just multiply straight across. 6 times 5 is 30. 1 times 1 is 1. 30 over 1 is 30. So mathematically, that's kind of what we're doing. 4 divided by 1/2, we're really just doing 4 times 2, because there's 2 halves in everything. So we'll keep the 4. We can think of it as 4 over 1. And really, we're multiplying by 2, because there's 2 halves in all of these. Think about it as 2 over 1. And then up top, we're going to get 8 over 1, which is just 8. So this will always work with every fraction, guys. When you're dividing with fractions, use that strategy, and we went over some examples with pictures of why it works. So why don't you pause it and give these a shot real quick using that keep, change, flip method.